it's time to talk day. And since I've been going on all week about how on Time to Talk Day we should talk about mental health and we should remove the stigma, remove the taboo, and actually, talk, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do the talking thing. Practice what I preach. So, I've just done a video about eating disorder. My second one here is a bit harder. I am a semi-recovered self-harmer. I started self-harming, you know what, I'm not even sure when I started. Depends what you classify as self-harming. I used to stick my fingers into my fingernails into my skin a lot as a child. Slowly grew from there to using tools to damage myself. It went on for a very, very long time. I would say that, well, actually no, I'm not just saying, I would say the vast majority of my life, my automatic coping mechanism for any situation was to harm myself in some way. Now, sometimes this was, as of the last post, by engaging in destructive eating or dysfunctional eating sort of situations. Sometimes this was by physically putting myself in danger with the knowledge and the subconscious want almost to make sure to get injured. Which sounds ridiculous to say now, but that's how it was. And my other method was to physically harm my body. A lot of people ask why. You know what, I'm not entirely certain. It depends, I suppose. It depends what was going on. Sometimes it was a distraction, essentially. There was lots of stuff going on and I couldn't pull my brain out of what was happening. I couldn't focus on anything. Everything was just too busy and there was just too much. Sure way to make it stop is to make yourself hurt. You've got anything to focus on then. Suddenly all that other stuff that's going on around you doesn't really matter so much. Because you've got something urgent you must focus on now. Because of blood. To put it bluntly. I'm trying not to be too graphic, but it's a fairly difficult topic to talk about without a little bit of graphicness. So I apologise for that. Other times it was because I had done something or thought something or whatever that I had in my head I should be punished for. And there was no external punishment, no one was going to hurt me. Sometimes people didn't shout at me, sometimes they didn't even know about the thing that I thought I needed to be punished for had happened. Sometimes the thing was completely made up inside my head, basically imagined. So I thought I had to be punished, so I punished myself. Makes sense, doesn't it? Well, it doesn't really. But in the warped logic of my brain at the time, it made perfect sense. It made more sense than anything else. And the third film was sometimes if I felt really down, like so down that I was actually contemplating suicide. And then doing something small to myself sort of pulled me out of it. I'm not sure if it was because, once again, it was a distraction, it was an urgent thing that must be taken care of now, so my brain stopped thinking about it, or if it was the sort of the self-care element afterwards. So you'd do it, and you'd have the ritual of having to look after the wound. And I suppose that giving that care to yourself sometimes just made you feel better. I'm not saying that I had absolutely no care from anyone else around me. I'm not saying that at all. But I don't know. I really don't know. I wish I could give you the definitive answer of why I did it and how it helped, but I can't. I really can't. I mean, I can go into the neurology and the biology a little bit of the chemical releases and all that sort of stuff. I can explain on an academic level, but I can't really explain on a personal or emotional level. I just learned at a young age that it kind of worked and never bothered learning another way. And that is the hardest thing about when you're trying to recover, is learning new and healthy coping mechanisms, working out what it is that everyone else does when things go wrong, that mean they don't have to resort to the things that you resort to. It's very difficult, and it's also very, very difficult to talk about because people have such thoughts. They think it's attention seeking. They think it's just teenage girls. People have some interesting thoughts about it. I mean, I carried on doing this until I was almost 30. And if I'm perfectly honest, I'm 33 now and I still now and again have small slip-ups. It's not just teenage girls, and it's not attention seeking. There were many people who I've known for most of my life who don't know I've ever done it. Which is why this video is so scary. But there we go. Being open, I'm talking about it. If anyone else out there is struggling with this, if you send me a message, I'll try to listen. My social skills aren't great, but I can give it a go. But the best advice I can give is find someone that you trust, who you feel you can talk to, and ideally find a professional to help as well. Because as much as you may think you're in control of it now, at some point you won't be. And I really hate for that point to be where something goes wrong, something goes too far, something becomes permanent. It is a dangerous thing to be playing with, as much as we think it works at the time. Looking back now, it wasn't sensible. So yeah, that's basically my little talk on this. It's not easy to talk about this one, I'm afraid. And no, you can't see my scars. Everyone always asks that. No, you can't. Apart from anything else, I have to pull my trousers down. So anyway, yes, there we go. I tried to make it funny at the end, but it hasn't really worked, has it? I'll try to lighten the topic slightly. But yeah, on an academic level, neurologically and biologically, you can see how it works through the chemical releases. But really, all that it really does is that the original problem, or that caused you to do it, is still there. But now you also need first aid. So yeah, but it's difficult to talk about. Please don't make it more difficult for someone to talk about by accusing them of being attention seeking, because they're not. The likelihood is it's taken a lot for them to feel like they're to be able to talk to you. Just listen, accept, don't try to fix, and don't criticize.